An introduction to the book of Jeremiah. Jehovah used the prophet Jeremiah to write one of the largest books in the Bible. In addition to being a prophetic book, the book of Jeremiah provides an account of the prophet's own experiences and personal feelings. Before Jeremiah was born, Jehovah took special interest in this boy who would be born into a priestly family. Jeremiah became a researcher and an accurate historian. He wrote the books of 1st and 2nd Kings and Lamentations. He may have been close to 25 years old when Jehovah appointed him as a prophet in the year 647 BCE. This was less than 100 years after the fall of the northern kingdom of Israel. It was a time of turbulent changes as rival powers jockeyed for control of the region. Jeremiah served as a prophet for about 67 years until 580 BCE. His career as a prophet spanned the reigns of good King Josiah and wicked kings Jehoahaz, Jehoiakim, Jehoiakim, and Zedekiah. Jeremiah had been a prophet for about 40 years when in 607 BCE, Jerusalem and the temple were destroyed, and a remnant of survivors taken captive to Babylon. Later, Jeremiah was taken to Egypt, where he continued in his assignment as Jehovah's prophet. The book of Jeremiah was completed in 580 BCE, 27 years after Jerusalem's destruction. The prophets Nahum, Habakkuk, Obadiah, and Ezekiel were also inspired to write during this time period. The prophet Daniel was another contemporary, but he did not complete his book until about 536 BCE. The book of Jeremiah contains 52 chapters. The events are not written in chronological order, but according to subject. In the opening chapter, Jehovah commissions Jeremiah as his prophet to convey both a message of judgment and a message of hope. Chapters 2 to 24 include Jehovah pronouncing judgment on the people of Jerusalem for such wicked actions as idolatry and violence. At Jehovah's direction, Jeremiah smashes an earthenware flask to illustrate that God would punish the nation for its bad conduct. Chapters 29 to 34 contain comfort for faithful Jewish exiles. Jeremiah restates Jehovah's promise to restore the Jews to Jerusalem and to fulfill his covenant with David for an everlasting kingdom that will bring about righteousness in all the earth. Did you know? The prophet Daniel discerned from the book of Jeremiah that the desolation of Jerusalem would last for 70 years and that God's people were about to be released. Many chapters recount how Jeremiah boldly proclaimed Jehovah's message in the face of fierce persecution. In chapter 36, Jeremiah dictates to his secretary Baruch the words Jehovah directed against God's people and all the nations. On hearing the message read to him, King Jehoiakim cuts up the scroll and throws it into the fire. However, Jehovah directs Jeremiah to have it written again. Chapter 38 relates how King Zedekiah hands Jeremiah over to his enemies, who throw the prophet into a muddy cistern. He is rescued later by Ebed-Melech, a faithful worshiper of Jehovah. The book of Jeremiah contains strong pronouncements of judgment against many nations, including Egypt, Philistia, Moab, Ammon, Edom, and Babylon. These nations were condemned for their enmity toward God's people. Among the events that Jeremiah recorded are the last days of Jerusalem, Babylon's destruction of the city, and the aftermath of the destruction. As you study the book of Jeremiah, observe how Jehovah condemned the wicked, but gave hope to the faithful. How Jeremiah faithfully stuck to his assignment despite hardship. and how Jehovah promised to establish a kingdom that will bring about righteousness in all the earth.